StudyIQ IAS, आपका सिलेक्शन हमारा मिशन।
150 years is an extraordinary milestone for any organization, more so if the organization is involved in the study of science and public service. One of the oldest scientific institutions in the country, the India Meteorological Department stands as a pillar of scientific success in India. To understand about its remarkable legacy and more so about its interesting future, I am today joined by the Chief Weatherman of India, the Director General of IMD, Dr. Mrutyunjay Mohapatra. Thank you, Dr. Mohapatra, for joining us here on StudyIQ.
Namaskar. Thank you very much.
Sir.
It is a good opportunity to communicate about the evolution of weather and climate services in the country, the current status and the future plans to the young minds so that they can be ignited to take up the challenges and address the requirement of the society.
काफ़ी दफ़ा देखा जाता है सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन में जो छात्र अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं वो एक अटेम्प्ट, दो अटेम्प्ट, तीन अटेम्प्ट के बाद भी फॉर सम रीजन दे आर अनसक्सेसफुल. सो हाउ डू यू गो हेड एंड मेंटेन योर मोटिवेशन इन दैट सिनेरियो, और कैसे पढ़ाई करें कि फाइनली हम जाके रैंक निकालें और व्हेन यू एंटर द सर्विसेज?
I just want to say that failure is the pillar of success. One should not be disheartened with the first failure or second failure. If your objective is very clear, then you should have a good strategy. So with the strategy, you should prepare yourself, and preparation should be balanced in such a way that it needs the challenges. The failure is a challenge, and that challenge should be converted into opportunity by analyzing the drawbacks, the gaps in your preparations, and you can adjust those for the next time. You have to be patient, you should be pure in mind, and you should persevere. As I told a little earlier, purity, patience and perseverance are the three essential things to achieve success in life.
Right. Dr. Mohapatra, the motto of IMD, let's begin with that, which states that Aditya Jayate Vrishti, the sun is the cause of the rains. And this motto comes from an ancient Indian wisdom, an ancient Indian text. So as someone who is engaged in the study of science, what is the relevance of this motto for you?
Yeah, you correctly told it has come from the ancient era in Vedas. Aditya Jayate Vrishti says that precipitation or rainfall is created by the sun. If we think about it in the current understanding of science, the sun provides energy, that is heat energy, which is a shortwave radiation incident on the surface of the earth. The earth being a black body, it absorbs those radiations and gets heated. At the same time, being a black body, it also radiates. The radiation emitted by the surface of the earth are the outgoing long wave radiations, while the incoming solar radiations are not absorbed by the particles present in the atmosphere. The outgoing long wave radiations from the surface of the earth gets absorbed, and hence the temperature of the surface of the earth and adjoining atmosphere increases. So with that, when this solar radiation is incident on the water bodies like say ocean, rivers, ponds, etc., water body also gets heated up, and the water particles get evaporated or vaporized, and water vapor goes off because the weight of water vapor is 18 grams H2O, whereas the dry air, it is about 32 grams. So therefore water vapor is lighter than air, and hence it goes off. As the water vapor goes off, it comes in contact with the colder air in the troposphere up to a height of about say 10 to 15 kilometer. The temperature decreases with height. So therefore this warm water vapor which goes off comes in contact with the colder air, and hence it condenses. Again, water vapor is converted into small water particles, and these water particles form the clouds. Cloud is nothing but the number of small water drops. These water particles coalesce with each other. The size of the water drop increases, and the time comes when it falls down. When it falls down, it is called as the rainfall.
Right.
So the ancient knowledge has relevance at that time, and the current scientific knowledge is adding up, and both traditional and the progressive scientific knowledge should be combined to address the requirement of the society. So therefore, India Meteorological Department has the motto or emblem that Aditya Jayate Vrishti, and based on that we have at present the different visions. The first and foremost vision statement is that no weather hazard should go undetected and unpredicted. And the weather and climate information will be generated in such a way that it can be optimally utilized by the people to maximize the socio-economic conditions.
Right. It's interesting, Dr. Mohapatra, when you mention about the sun and the sun being the chief source of energy that brings all of this to life. And your name also, in a way, mentions about victory over death. And you are actually involved in the protection of lives around India through your forecasts and your reports that you put out. So one question that comes to my mind is, and you have spoken previously about this, that your journey as such with the science of atmospheric studies begins in 1971, when you face your first tropical cyclone. And there this journey starts, and that almost in a, say, poetic manner culminates with you becoming the chief weatherman of India. So could you take us through that, please?
Yeah, when you talk about my name, I will just tell you. So it so happened that I took birth after 20 years of marriage of my parents. So when I took birth, my grand uncle was there, and he asked, अरे बेटा हुआ ना बेटी? So किसी ने बोला कि बेटा हुआ है, उन्होंने बोला कि उनका नाम मृत्युंजय रखो. Maybe he might have thought that the parents and everybody was praying to Lord Shiva, and Mrutyunjay is the other name of Shiva. So whatever it is, so that name I carried forward. Now coming to your point, I took birth in 1965. In 1971, I was a 6-year-old child. At that time, as you know, at present, even in the country, 60% population depend upon agriculture. So at that time, most of the people were dependent upon the agriculture. And agriculture is almost rain-fed at that time. Even now also 40% of area is only irrigated. So at that time, irrigation facility was quite less. So every year, being from an agrarian family, we have seen how the people suffer because of the floods, droughts, and cyclones, etc. Because monsoon is such a phenomena which shows large-scale variation from year to year and within year itself, leading to floods and droughts. And tropical cyclones develop almost every year in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, and they affect east coast and west coast, mainly the east coast. And in Odisha, almost every year we experience one cyclone. So when it was in 1971, there was a massive cyclone which crossed Odisha coast close to north of Paradip, and it affected entire north coastal Odisha districts as it moved towards northeast after the landfall. So around 10,000 people died. But I was not doing all these things. On that day, 29 October 1971, so the school was closed because it was raining heavily. Wind was very strong. So we were happy as a child that school is closed today, because I was not a willing child to go to school. So in that sense, if you remember, my mother one day took a bamboo stick and he went on beating me till I reached the Pathshala. There was no school in our village. There was a private Pathshala in the temple of our village. One old person was teaching the children. So that was my first journey when I was forced by my mother to attend the school. So whatever it is, the school was closed on that day. So we are happy. So we are taking muri, that is the flattened rice.
Yes,
flattened rice. And coconut was falling down. In coastal Odisha, there are a lot of coconut trees. And my mother was bringing out those soft coconuts, and we are enjoying the breakfast. My father went outside and he found that the storm surge, the tidal wave from the Bay of Bengal is rushing towards our village. So he immediately came back, and he did not come to our house. He went to the window of our house when we were all sitting, and he knocked there and told us that आप सभी ऊपर चले जाइए. That means हमारा जो घर है एक मिट्टी का घर है, मगर इसमें मिट्टी में भी एक फ्लोर होता है जहाँ आप रह सकते हैं. So हम सभी एक लेडर के ऊपर चढ़ते हुए ऊपर से भी चले गए. और my father went house to house in the village. He was a ward member. So he called all the people कि आप लोग सभी हमारा घर आ जाइए. क्योंकि सालाइन वाटर अभी गांव के अंदर आ रहे हैं बहुत तेजी से. और सालाइन वाटर जब साइक्लोन साथ आता है ना, जैसे मासिव संख्या 5 से 6 मीटर हाइट का होता है. So इसमें इफ यू आर नॉट evacuated, then you will die. So storm surge is called as the killer of the cyclones. So by that you cannot believe, within an hour about 300 people came to our house. It is Mohapatra family. 3 houses are there which are connected at the top. So they were accommodated there. People were praying, crying. They were drenched while coming here. And then it was a thatched house like this. And one of my brother, he put one rassi, that is string, and it was told to us that if the house floats, we should take help of that string so that we will not be submerged in the water. So with that we are continuing without knowing much as a child. By the evening the wind speed decreased and rainfall also quite decreased, and storm surge water also went down. When we came back, we found that nothing is there. So entire village or entire area was completely devastated, large scale devastation. Many houses were devastated, trees were completely down, the roads were completely blocked, and at that time there was no electricity, there was no telephone, therefore there was no scope for breaking or uprooting of telephone poles, electric poles. My mother and auntie came together and they brought out the straw from the thatched house. And with that straw, whatever rice was there, they took the rice and drumstick leaves. They just fried the drumstick leaves and we took the food. And after that, rice became a dream for us for the next 1 year, because entire cultivation was washed away. It was month of 29 October. So therefore, rice is in the harvesting stage. So there is no scope for second rice, and every family was starving because of that. There are many initiatives by the government to take care of. But however, that led to, you can say, unforgettable memory in my childhood, that a cyclone is such a weather system which can devastate the society. Many people migrated. My father also migrated from our village to Calcutta for some work. And there was food for work program. People went for the work and they survived. But many people died. It is more than 10,000 people, and many people also got their hands or legs. They were injured permanently. So that instigated me when I joined India Meteorological Department in 1992, and it provided the food for thought. How can we improve the understanding of weather and climate and provide the better forecast and early warning services so that public at large and disaster managers can take action to minimize loss of life and property. So my first posting was in Pune, then to Bangalore, and then in 1998 I came to Bhubaneswar, and June 1998, and October 99 there was a super cyclone. So at that time, as a meteorologist, I know what a cyclone is, but the technological advances in the country at that time was not permitting a meteorologist to execute the entire responsibility. We did not have at that time the Doppler weather radars. One radar was there, it is analog radar in Paradip, which also stopped working when the super cyclone was crossing the coast. We did not have any automated weather stations. We have very limited meteorological buoys, just started in 1997. We did not have the satellite products what you get today. We are getting one imagery product every 3 hours from INSAR series of satellites. We did not have any numerical weather prediction model at that time to predict. Just based on the simple understanding, looking at the satellite picture received at 3 hours, people were predicting. And if I say at that time prediction was, it will cross the coast between Gopalpur and Digha. It is 480 kilometers. So you cannot evacuate people for 480 kilometers. And finally on 28 October, when I briefed the media at the time as a young meteorologist that it is going to cross the coast as a very severe cyclone storm near Paradip by 29th morning. But in the 28th evening, our area cyclonic center in Kolkata, they told that now cyclone is changing the path, it will cross Sagar Island in West Bengal. So that confused the public. So immediately they were asked, and I told no, it is going to cross. I took the stand because already we have given the warning. Then I contacted head office here, and they also confirmed at night again, no, it will come to Paradip. And finally it came and crossed near Paradip, but it persisted over that area for 30 hours, devastating the entire coast, including the city of Cuttack and Bhubaneswar. And 10,000 people again died in 99.
So ये जो casualties हुए, 10,000 people died. So was that the confusion was there because of the Calcutta center? We could have done better if there was better coordination?
Yeah, I want to say that whatever we told, that is on 28th. The lead period for management was quite less. However, 40,000 people were evacuated from the coast of Odisha, because there are only 23 cyclone shelters. Now you have got more than 850 cyclone shelters in the coast of Odisha. So therefore, it is not simply the science, it is also the part of the management and the infrastructure.
The community preparedness.
Socioeconomic condition at that time was poor also. We did not have the so-called internet facility, etc. Mobile phone we did not have at that time. Very few people, rich people, they have the mobile phones. And then we are collecting data through telegram. So it takes 3 hours to collect the data, then analyze the data again 3 hours, total 6 hours was being consumed for this purpose to identify where the cyclone is, how it is moving, etc. Again, after that, when we prepared the bulletin, it was manual preparation. You have to write by hand, then you have to send by fax message, and sometimes fax will not work, and telegram was sent. When telegram was sent, say for example, if I send a telegram from Bhubaneswar, it has to reach, say for example, Baripada, Mayurbhanj district, it will take 6 hours. By the time it becomes the evening and office is closed. So therefore, it is not simply the science of meteorology, but entire science and technology was not at that stage to address the cyclones. Therefore, after Odisha super cyclone, one of the magazine, Frontline magazine wrote, it is a scientific failure of the country.
Is that not the reason, sir? We are the regional specialized meteorological center under WMO, that we are responsible for tropical cyclone prediction for what, 10 countries roughly?
Yeah, you are right. We not only support India, but also all the countries, 13 countries in the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea region, starting with Thailand, Myanmar, then here it is Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and Pakistan, then Oman, Yemen, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all these countries, then Sri Lanka and Maldives.
And these services are provided free of cost. We don't charge these countries at all.
Every day we provide a tropical weather outlook to them. When there will be depression, we provide the bulletins 3 times a day. When there is a cyclone, every 3 hours, we provide the advisory to these countries.
I'm glad you brought it up, Dr. Mohapatra, because many people do not realize that IMD is a very powerful instrument of India's soft power, that we are able to use our weather forecasts and bulletins as a means to engage with these countries.
You are right.
That not many people would be aware of.
Yeah, maybe people do not know, but this service is going on for a long time. Actually, in 1973, when that 1970 Bhola cyclone occurred and 3 lakh people died in Bangladesh, Bhola cyclone 1970. Then there was a hue and cry. In 1971, the cyclone 10,000 people died in Odisha. In the same year, 1970, 10,000 people also died in Andhra Pradesh. So all these 3 events triggered a worldwide concern. So World Meteorological Organization and the UNSCAF came together to establish a panel on tropical cyclones. It was established in 1973. First meeting occurred in 1973. But at that time, there was no forecasting activity. Some kind of coordination was there. But gradually, it improved. In 1988, it became the Regional Specialized Meteorology Center for Tropical Cyclones, India. And activity was manifold in the recent years. Just like I told you, in 2008, we provided a complete guidance to these countries by mentioning what is the prognosis and what is the diagnosis of various types of observational data. We shared all observational data. We shared our model forecast to all these countries. And also, we prepared location-specific forecast for all these countries. Now, around 450 stations in all these countries, we provide the forecast as per their requirement. Not only that, we conducted training from 2005 onwards. Every year, we are conducting training for all these countries with respect to tropical cyclone forecasting.
So, we are training their meteorologists.
Yes.
Right.
Then from 2014 onwards, we took another step. That is called severe weather forecasting program. We are providing forecast for heavy rainfall, winds, waves, apart from storm surge and cyclones over all these countries. Apart from that, we also share them the satellite products, the radar products which are available in nearby countries, because radar can have the coverage up to ideally 500 kilometers or otherwise 400 kilometers. So those countries which are nearby to us, like say Pakistan or Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar or Sri Lanka, they are being covered to some extent by the radar posted by India Meteorological Department.
So Indian information is helping save Pakistani lives.
Yes, you are right. When Cyclone Viparjay was crossing Gujarat, we are providing advisory on cyclones to Pakistan also.
Are they ever grateful for it?
Yeah, they acknowledge. All the countries acknowledge. So therefore, India Meteorological Department has got appreciation worldwide from United Nations, from WMO, and also from UNSCR, Human Commission Refugees. I will tell you one example. In Cyclone Mocha in 2023, it crossed Bangladesh-Myanmar coast. Okay, there are Rohingya refugees. So UNSCR came forward, I told you provide information to us so that we can reach out to the refugees. So we provided information. It was a WMO coordination mechanism where India played a role, and refugees were saved. Similar cyclone caused death of 140,000 in 2008, Cyclone Nargis in Irrawaddy Delta, and this cyclone caused death of less than 200.
I think IMD deserves a lot of praise and applause for the humanitarian work, the yeoman work that you do. At the end of the day, your forecasts are helping save lives, as you correctly mentioned.
You are right.
But one question, Dr. Mohapatra, that we have got from a student of StudyIQ. The student has asked that when you first know about a particular tropical cyclone, so how does that information chain function? Right from, say, the detection of the cyclone by IMD to the information being disseminated at the state level, at the taluk level, at the district level. How does that chain of function happen?
Right. See, India Meteorological Department maintains a round-the-clock watch. We have got a 3-tier mechanism. At the national level, we have got National Weather Forecasting Center, where we have got the Regional Specialized Meteorological Center for Tropical Cyclones in the Cyclone Division. There is an interesting story. Cyclone Division was established in 1990. Prior to that, what was happening, our area cyclone centers, they were providing their forecast independently. Sometimes if there is a cyclone in Bay of Bengal, area cyclone center Chennai will issue a forecast, area cyclone center of Kolkata will issue a forecast for the same area in the Bay of Bengal. So people are getting confused. So a cyclone distress mitigation committee was established after the Machilipatnam cyclone in 1990. And that recommended that there should be a cycloning division who will go for national and international coordination and ensure a single voice for the entire country and also for the world. So that is another development I told you. So coming to your point, as a cyclone forecaster, a cyclone develops over the sea area, and first and foremost thing what I do or any cyclone forecaster does, that you have to look at the satellite image first, so that you can find out where is the large scale convective cloud. So for the genesis of a tropical cyclone, you should have first the large scale convective cloud cluster. Then you have to see whether this cloud cluster is evolving, it is improving or dissipating. So therefore what we do actually go for the animation of the satellite cloud picture, both in visual image, infrared image, water vapor image and microwave imagery if we have got, to find out what is the evolution, what is its growth, what is its movement, etc. That gives the first hand information whether something is developing. Then we look at...
This is the depression stage, sir.
No, this is nothing. Nothing has happened by that time.
Right.
Then we look at the potential parameters. For a cyclone to develop, you should have an atmosphere where there is a rotating capability. The atmospheric air parcel can rotate just like a screw rotating around its, okay.
Right.
So that is called as, technically called as the vorticity. Whether there is a positive vorticity, that we find out with this observational data. Then we look at the wind shear, whether the difference of wind at a height of say 1 to 2 kilometer and a height of say 12 kilometer is large or small.
Right.
For development of tropical cyclone, the difference of wind between lower level and upper level should be less, less than 20 nautical miles per hour wind speed. That means about 35 kilometers, less than 35 kilometers per hour.
Right.
Similarly, we look at whether there is convergence of wind, whether winds are blowing towards that center where we have got the convective clouds, or whether there is a divergence of cloud at the upper level. It is just like a pipe. If there is a convergence of water in one end of the pipe,
then there must be divergence at the top
there
level.
must be divergence.
Right.
Then the water flow can continue.
Right.
Same principle is there.
Then it becomes an unstable system.
Unstable system. So we find out that whether the atmosphere is unstable or not.
Right.
So it is called a moist static instability. That means there should be moisture in the atmosphere. The middle level relative humidity at a height of 5 to 6 kilometers should be more than 50% for development of cyclone. Then the sea surface temperature should be 26.5 degrees Celsius or more.
Right.
The ocean heat content, that means the energy trapped within the 60 meter depth of the ocean surface should be more than 50 kilojoule per cm square. So we have got a complete checklist. So these are the basic parameters developed by W.M. Gray in 1968, which are utilized to monitor the genesis of the cyclones. So after looking at all these things, we analyze our synoptic weather chart with help of whatever data we have got, sheep, buoys and scatterometer and the satellite pictures and observations taken from the coast, islands, etc. So if we find that the convective cloud mass is associated with a low pressure area,
Right.
so we identify the low pressure area. And then with all these favorable conditions, this low pressure area can be concentrated into a depression. Then depression intensifies into deep depression. Then deep depression into a cyclone storm, then severe cyclone storm, very severe cyclone storm, extremely severe cyclone storm, and super cyclone storms. So, the basic criteria required, as I told you, the 6 parameters.
Right.
But apart from that, there could be many other parameters, like say interaction with other cyclones, or interaction with other weather systems like western disturbances, or its movement from South China Sea towards the Bay of Bengal. So, large scale parameters taken into consideration. There are also other fields, like say for example, this is a La Nina year.
Right.
The frequency and intensity and the length of track of the cyclone will be higher. If it is an El Nino year, it is expected that it will be shorter and less damaging, and it will move also towards the southern part of the Bay of Bengal. That is, it will move towards Tamil Nadu and South Andhra Pradesh. La Nina year, northern part of the coast, like say North Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal, Bangladesh.
Is there a reason for
becomes
this
more.
difference, sir?
There is a reason. Because as I told you, the basic one of the parameters is the sea surface temperature. In the La Nina year, what happens? The western equatorial Pacific becomes warmer, eastern equatorial Pacific is colder.
Right.
So therefore, the genesis of cyclone occur more in the western equatorial Pacific, or western Pacific.
Right.
Once in the western Pacific, it has to move west northwestwards. When they move west northwestwards, they reach the southeastern Southeast Asia. You know that Thailand, Cambodia,
Right.
and,
The area around Malacca
Vietnam,
Strait,
very small strip.
Right.
So therefore, those cyclones which develop South China Sea, they do not die down, and they become more intense there because temperature is high, and they come to the Bay of Bengal across Andaman Sea. And in the month of October, November, or in the month of April, May, the Andaman Sea and Bay of Bengal is quite hot.
Right.
Always the temperature is very high there, and also atmosphere parameter also support. Therefore, they again intensify. The intensify, they move again west northwest. Climatologically, cyclones move northwestwards. Therefore, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, North Andhra Pradesh are very prone for the cyclones. Every year they experience one cyclone at least. So this is the reason why in the La Nina year they become more intense. They affect northern part. In the El Nino year, what happens actually? This type of phenomena does not occur much.
Right.
So, in situ development takes place, or the easterly waves what pass through in the near equatorial region, they pass through, and so therefore it becomes short-lived, shorter track, and not more intense, and they move towards Tamil Nadu and adjoining South Andhra
Does our
Pradesh.
Indian Ocean dipole also affect the, say, development of cyclones either in Arabian Sea or Bay of Bengal?
Yes. So, Indian Ocean dipole is nothing but a phenomena where you have got a seesaw in temperature in the equatorial Indian Ocean, like the El Nino La Nina in the equatorial Pacific.
Right.
So, when the west equatorial Indian Ocean near Somalia coast becomes warmer, and the east equatorial Indian Ocean near Indonesia becomes cooler relative to the normal, then it is called the positive Indian Ocean dipole. Opposite is the negative Indian Ocean dipole. So, in the negative Indian Ocean dipole year, what will happen? The eastern side of the equatorial Indian Ocean will be warmer.
Right.
So, therefore, that will help in warming the Andaman Sea and the Bay of Bengal. So, therefore, the frequency and intensity of cyclones in negative Indian Ocean dipole becomes higher in the Bay of Bengal.
Right.
It has no impact in the Arabian Sea. So, if there is a combination La Nina year and also negative IOD year, then Bay of Bengal becomes very prone for development of the tropical cyclones and its intensification.
And your work becomes even more important in that year because
Yes.
again the entire eastern seaboard of India is looking forward to receiving cyclones.
Yes, you are right.
Right.
You are right.
It's been very interesting so far, Dr. Mohapatra. Now let me take this discussion forward and move past cyclones and discuss some of the other disasters or the other problems that is being faced currently in our country. One more student has sent us a question that is there a specific reason why lightning is not notified as a disaster in India? Because we find that, well, under the 12 notified disasters, lightning does not mention.
Yeah.
So what is the reason behind that?
Yeah, lightning is one of the significant hazard which we are experiencing. If you look at the past history, you will find that lightning occurs globally. In the tropical region, it occurs more frequently. In undivided India, Bangladesh has the notorious record of maximum number of deaths due to one strike of lightning.
Right.
So, in India, if you just look at, along with Eastern Africa, there is a joint record. So, when you consider the lightning at present, I will tell you, the number of deaths due to large scale weather systems like tropical cyclones, low pressure systems, depressions, or even heavy rainfall events has decreased drastically. From heat wave, our death was around 2000 in 2015. Now it is less than 100 or so in a year. Similarly, if you compare the Kedarnath episode in 2013, around 4,500 people died.
Right.
Similar rainfall occurred in 2021. only 30 people died. Of course, that should not happen. So that I want to say that early warning supported by early action in the country has developed in the recent decade, which has ensured the minimization of loss of life. But you consider the lightning. Lightning is not a large-scale hazard. Lightning occurs very specifically. In one village, one part of the village there will be lightning, other part there may not be lightning. So that could be the reason why it is not considered so far. But there are certain provisions in the state disaster relief fund. They can utilize for the management of lightning, considering as the hazard. So this awareness is key. Even if you give the forecast, the people who are working in the field, they cannot carry the mobile along with them. They cannot see your mobile app. We have got mobile app Damini, but it may not be possible for a farmer while flying the land to look at mobile every time.
Correct.
But this awareness can help them. Additional burden what has been in recent time, that apart from the natural atmosphere, we have many electromagnetic waves generated because of the telephones, because of the electricity, the poles, lines, etc. Then also you have got many mobile towers. You have got mobile with each one. So now also you can find out in the media, people traveling in the scooter, talking over mobile phone, and they are struck with the lightning. So this understanding we should have. There could be the interference, electromagnetic interference, and hence the amplitude can increase. It can be more disastrous if you are operating any electromagnetic devices.
Sir, and one can only hope कि हाँ this behavioral change है जिसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं वो और लोग इसके साथ जुड़े, जिन लोगों को ज़्यादा इसके बारे में पता चले. एक और प्रश्न जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ने भेजा है स्टडी IQ के सर, दैट कैन वी एक्सपेक्ट कि अब 50 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड से ज़्यादा का जो समर सीजन है ये एक नया नॉर्मल है, न्यू नॉर्मल है, और हमारे विंटर्स अब छोटे होते जाएंगे. Is that going to happen in the near future?
Yeah, this question is more or less related to climate change. In the past 100 years, if you just look at the atmospheric temperature, globe for a whole has increased by 1.15 degrees Celsius. But you see for the last 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, you will see that increase is rapid. Already it is 1.53 degrees Celsius last year. Considering India, it is about 0.67 degrees Celsius in past 100 years rise in temperature. Of course, we are relatively less compared to the global average, because the rise in temperature is more in polar areas than in tropical areas. But we should remember that it is a tropical country where you have got already the hot temperature. So any further heating will deteriorate our socio-economic activities. So what is happening actually, the expected rise was 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Then IPCC changed the target that by 2050 we can expect 1.5 degrees Celsius rise in temperature. But what you see recently, that temperature is already risen and it is rising, and people are apprehending that next 1 decade or 2 decades we may reach the target of 1.5 degrees Celsius as average. So when the temperature rises, for example 1.5 degrees Celsius, what will happen? It will lead to increase in number of days of heat wave. Heat wave means the rise in temperature abnormally, so that it becomes fatal for the human beings to survive.
So this has already doubled for this year as compared to last year. The number of heat wave days is doubled for this year, I am assuming.
Yes, so far we predicted in the month of March that it will be higher than normal, and it has become higher than normal in the
we can expect a very harsh summer this year, sir?
That is the prediction what we issued, that this year the number of heat wave days will be 6 to 10 days higher than the total number of heat wave days what we experience in the month of March to May. The next update will come by 31st March again for period April, May to June. So what I want to say that 50 degrees Celsius as such, it is difficult, but in India we have got a record of 50.8 degrees Celsius recorded in Rajasthan.
Churu, yes.
Churu. So therefore it is not like that we do not have 50 degrees Celsius. But the point is that whether 50 degrees Celsius will be recorded in South India or Eastern India, so that we should think about that. So looking at the trend, the temperature is rising in the northern parts of the country, which are the heat prone area like central India and northern India, and also in northern parts of peninsula like say Telangana, North Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, in North Karnataka, there also temperatures are rising. The area where we are not looking at the heat wave conditions now, for example Tamil Nadu and Kerala, nowadays we are experiencing heat wave conditions.
So sir, ये सारा information किस app पे मिल सकता है?
It is available in Mosam mobile app.
Okay.
And also it is available in IMD website. Please, and all this information is available in Web GIS.
Okay.
You can zoom in and zoom in. You can find out your village, your tahsil, your block, your panchayat. You can find these informations. At the same time, the heat wave forecast also has improved with a seamless forecasting system. After 2015, when 2000 people died, from 2016 onwards, we have a seasonal forecast, followed by a monthly forecast, followed by the external forecast for next 4 weeks, then everyday forecast for next 7 days, and then nowcast, a very certain forecast. Every day morning we issue a special forecast during the summer season, and in the afternoon another forecast.
Do you think the emergence of private players in weather forecasting that has added to IMD's challenges, or is it a good thing that you have multiple players in this field now?
A requirement of the day is that you have a collaboration. We have to go for collaboration. We have a very good collaboration with various agencies. As I told you, for a successful weather forecasting warning, you should have collaboration among the scientific community, technology community, then you have got R&D institutes, academia also involved, and also the public-private partnership with the media. So, by that way, we have public-private engagement also. For example, if you look at our agro-meteorological advisory services, it goes to the farmers through mass media, starting with DD Kisan and All India Radio and mobile app and SMS and all other platforms like Twitter and Facebook, etc. Also, we have got the local language, Meghdut, mobile app, etc. It goes. We have also found the WhatsApp group with the farmers. So, there also we have got the collaboration with, for example, MS Swaminathan Foundation, Reliance Foundation. Through them, also there is capacity building with the farmers, because farmers also should have the capacity to utilize the information.
Correct.
And also they are reaching out to the farmers with our information by downscaling their requirements.
Right.
So, as you told, the participation of private agencies is welcome, but there should not be the you can say repetition of the roles. For example, early warning. For cyclone warning system should be provided by the early warning agency. It cannot be provided by many. It will confuse public. Action cannot be taken. It will dilute. So, therefore, globally, it is a practice. I am the 3rd Vice President of World Meteorological Organizations. As far as pollution planning goes, we have come to this decision that there should be public-private engagement with respect to capacity building, with respect to extension of services, with respect to development of new services, with respect to outreach, to show that we can reach out each and every person, and early warning for all, that clarion call is given by United Nations and WMO to achieve by 2027. There it is required. But as far as early warning is concerned, only the nodal agency or the early warning agency of the country should provide.
The government agency should be responsible for this.
Yes.
So, this has been a most enlightening discussion. One more question that I have from a student is, and well, it's a little funny question, but I'll still put it before you. अब जब आप स्कूल में थे तो क्या ज्योग्राफी आपका सबसे फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट था, और अगर कोई IMD में आना चाहता है तो how does one become the say DG of IMD if a student wants to go ahead and become a DG?
Yeah, when I was in the school, geography was taught and I excelled in geography, there is no doubt in that. But at the same time also the objective was to do well in all subjects, starting with language to science, mathematics. But as far as liking is concerned, yes, in the language I was liking Sanskrit, and in the subject I was liking science, history and geography. So, when you think of becoming a DG, it does not become just like as you wish as it happens. It is, you can say, we have the proverb like Rome is not built in a day. So, the first and foremost thing I will suggest to the students that they should concentrate on the present. They should do well, they should learn maximum. At the same time, they should not be limited only to one field. They should have a visionary outlook. They should think high, they should have good expectations to reach high in the life, but purity, patience and perseverance, as told by Swami Vivekananda, are the 3 essential things to achieve success in life. I did not think that I will become DG IMD. Initially, when I was in school, my objective was to do well in the schooling so that I can get an entrance in the college. When I came to the college at the time, yes, I made up my mind that I will go for the science. Initially, I was thinking to go for engineering or medical, but because of the poverty, the socio-economic conditions, my father left to me that you decide. Then I decided that, okay, I will go for the basic science. And I was doing well in physics. I liked physics and I pursued physics and I did well, completed PG in physics. Then I joined this department. Before joining this department, I was in DRDO Chandipur. Then I came as a lecturer in physics. Then afterwards, I joined in 1992 here. And then whatever I learned in my childhood, I tell you, it is being applied. Finally, as a student, whether he becomes an administrative officer, that is like IAS or IPS, finally when he reaches this type of higher position, you will find whatever he or she has learned from her schooling stage is applicable. That is my understanding. Therefore, I will request that everyone should concentrate on the study. Chhatranang adhyayanang tapaha.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohapatra. This has been a most enlightening discussion. I'm sure our students will appreciate it. And to all my students, well, this was Dr. Mrutyunjay Mohapatra, the Director General of IMD, who was reflecting on the journey of this great institution. An institution that has survived the test of time, has been around for 150 years, and may we pray and wish that it stays around for another 150 years. On that note, Dr. Mrutyunjay Mohapatra, thank you for joining us here at StudyIQ. And for all of you who are watching us at home, please do consider leaving a like and a comment, and I shall see you very soon with our next presentation. Till then, namaskar.
StudyIQ IAS, आपका सिलेक्शन हमारा मिशन।